Today we're going to do middle block stuff. Everything from Chudan Uke, we'll do some blocking, some torite stuff at the end, some stuff that you've seen, and we're going to try to explain how this works. So the first thing I want to talk about is just the practice of the middle block. So usually we have a puncher and he comes in. So in a traditional karate class, you'll see this. He steps in, I step back, maybe something like this, or maybe he steps back, and I step in, anything like this, right? So the idea is that he's just punching and leaving his hand out here, and I'm doing this very, very basic thing, which is not going to work, because in real life, if he punches, he's not going to leave his hand hanging out there. So we're going to talk about how we can practice that technique a little bit better. So instead of doing this kind of practice where he comes in like this, we're going to do something that is more similar to the exercise we do in the karate kihon. So this exercise here is going to be the basis for this partner drill. He punches, boom. He's going to come on the other side. Okay, you can start simply and just one hand, he punches, one hand. The idea is that I move first, I get on my weight on my left leg, and then I turn using the left leg. And then I move, I get my weight on my right leg, turn using my right leg. So I'm constantly having to shift back and forth using the planted foot. Go slow. Faster. Soft. All right? You can go fast and soft. Okay? Question. This is sometimes called suenaka-ha, but we call it torite drill because that's what we're working on. Torite, grabbing hands. So he's going to start off slow. Boom. Just an exercise. And you can get a little faster, just stay smooth. Doesn't have to be fast, I can go slow, I can go my pace, he can go actually at a different pace than me. Soft, you're moving a little bit. Okay, so how do we build up to this? Well, just go one by one. So the first one is just one. And you can practice like this, one. And this is a good exercise anyway because here, each level of learning this exercise is in itself an exercise. One. Okay, next one. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. What would you do for me? Same thing. Okay. Next step. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Some people go right into 1, 2, but I like to do 1, 2, 3 to make sure that you're not going like this, but instead you're going right up naturally and then turning. So 1, 2, and this one here. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, sorry, we skipped 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. And then what's this? Anything more? And then you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This, my 5 is his 1. Right? Questions? Okay, so we have this block, and we have a couple different manifestations that you will see in the kata. Right, you said this one here and here. So we're going to talk about different applications of those hand forms. So the first one is just block, boom, block, boom, and that's it. Okay. So unless he leaves his hand out there, then I'm going to be open. So if he leaves his hand out there like you see in regular practice, yes, I can do all these punches and do a bunch of stuff. But he's not going to do that, right? He's going to go and draw it back. More so. Draw, jab, boom, right there, okay? So even if I get the block off, and then I'm back to square one. But I'm actually not in square one if he's throwing 2 punches, because then I'm just like open for that. So from the other side, the same thing. Punching here, boom, right? He draws back. I have to be ready for this punch because he's not going to stand there with his arms sticking out like this. I just stand out. This is how you see it practice, right? Okay. So we're going to start with this one first. We have no control. All we've done is block and hem. So we have to watch for that other side. So what's going to happen? One of two things is going to happen. He's going to draw back and not punch. So the first one, draw back and not punch. And then I have to come in and basically do the same thing. Or even worse, he's punching with both hands. Okay? So what I'm going to do, let's do it from this side. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to execute the middle block. But I'm going to make sure that I do it in a realistic way so that I'm still covered here. So if the punch comes in, boom, I'm ready, a little bit faster. See? Or I can come in and punch. Or, there's a Nahanshi kata. One interpretation of this is the block. Elbow strike is the block. Okay? So when it comes in, now I can take control of him. You see that? One, here. So this is what we're going to practice. 1, 2. If I go too low, what happens? Come in here. If I go too high, okay, but I really just want to focus on stopping that punch and then moving in with whatever else I have. Okay? So almost 1, 2, 3. So a little bit faster. See? He's got to go it fast or he won't get it off. He's having a hard time getting it off. Go slow, 1, and then. That time you went faster than I was trying to go slower, and you almost got me. So, anyway, questions?
So the blocking
We're doing this block, but we have to add something to it to make it more effective. Because if we just do this, then he's just going to do that. Right? Like we said, if he leaves his hand out, and then I can go, hi, kiai, oos. But that's not going to happen.
So you're entering, blocking, entering.
I'm bringing this up. If he's too slow, boom, I'm going to clock him in the face. But if he's fast, boom, I'm going to stop that block, and then clock him in the face. So try that. Okay, so we kind of have this level 2 middle block, where you see this movement here. This is the other side. And you sometimes see this in kata. This is in a basic exercise that we used to do in Hakatsu karate. So pretty common. What is the point of this? So it's a little bit of control. When we have the previous block, we have no control. All I'm doing is blocking him, and he's just going to do whatever he wants with his hand. If I come here, I have a little bit of control, which I can use to lead him off slightly, but that's about it. I'm not going to pull him anywhere. All I'm going to do is just lead him off, which is okay because the next thing I'm going to do is come straight in and go for the face or the head, right? So here, and then like this. We have a couple of different ways that we can do that. We can go 1, Agatsuki Age, right? Where I'm moving in using the chin. We can go here, where I'm using more like a classic kokenage, and we shift one here. And then I'm moving in like this. We can here, from the shoulder. Show that one from the other side. So if I'm coming in here, right, I'm going to move in here, and then okay. If he steps in, what do? We did Oizuki and Gyakuzuki. So if it's Oizuki, right, he's got his front foot forward. That makes this pretty easy. And I would go ahead and Oizuki here, right? He's going to draw back. That's okay. So take him like this. Now if he comes Gyakuzuki, makes it a little different, but he's still going to draw back, right? Which means I have to come in here. again, he's gonna draw back. See that? So instead of missing it, letting it go, right, I'm gonna follow it. So now I'm here. So here.
Oizuki or Gakuzuki?
Gyakuzuki. So here he's Gyakuzuki, and I'm catching it here, and I have to move in. Right? So from here. Now, if you're no good at that, just go. Which one? Either one. Doesn't matter.
Wow! Just like that. Boom.
Because what's slowly nice. Again, a little bit faster.
Very good.
So if you can't do the, in fact, if he's big, and then I might hit him. Wow. And then take it down. Soften him up a little bit first.
Hi.
Okay. Questions? Okay, try. Okay, so we'll do level, I call it level 3. It's just, let's do the slow version first. So here, this is number, again, leave your hand up. Okay, so this is 1, 2, 3, right? We did that in the Torite exercise. 1, 2, 3. So this is the white crane, okay? Sometimes you'll see people say, oh, well, the interpretation grab with both hands, it's here, right? Which is okay, but when you see people practicing things in kata and in different kihon and qigong or whatever, 2 hands is 1 hand. I'm just practicing both sides at the same time, right? And this thing from the karate kid, you see it in qigong, you see it in karate, you're strengthening the tendons and ligaments so that when you do this, you have some strength in your wrist. That's about it. We're practicing that posture. So if he punches and leaves his hand out, I can do like this, right? And now I have this little torite grip. I can control him. And if he punches and doesn't see it coming and you catch him, then okay, it might be like the hand is out. But we're going to look at his hand drawing back. So what do we have to do? We have to expect that to happen and let his hand do the trapping, okay? So he's going to draw back, and I'm going to slide in. So he's not going to punch and leave his hand hanging like this. Go ahead and just do leave a hand. It's not going to be like this. He's going to draw it back like he would, and maybe even start throwing that punch right there. See? So what happens when that punch comes in? You okay?
No, it's good.
If the punch doesn't come in, here, come in and do the same line. If the punch does come in, here, I got my block right here. And, I might get creative and do something like this. But that's just so it gets more likes on YouTube channel. Okay, so any questions? Was there a difference in the, I'm sorry. Okay, he's gonna. And that's your side nugget. I'm sorry, your side nugget. It is your side nugget. We talked about the straight punch and going to the outside of the straight punch. And the middle block can also be applied to the roundhouse punch, what we might call yoga manuchi in Aikido. The problem is, when I move, now of course, if I step at a diagonal to the back, that's the only direction I can go in. If he punches, I can go here. I don't like ducking like that because, he punches, if you're gonna duck, get your hand up, throw the atemi. I don't like to do that, but that's a technique. We're not gonna practice that. The other way is to step back. If I step forward, then I'm really setting myself up for the punch. Let's go to the other side. So if I step forward here, I'm just walking right into that punch. So if I'm going to step forward, we're not going to tonight, but I need to have a specific technique in mind why I'm stepping forward. In other words, I know that I'm going to go bam and strike that shoulder because that's what I want to do. Or Johan Soken used to do this technique where we go in with the fingers. And it does not feel good. But it's not easy to pull off, and we don't want to do that in a self-defense situation. So what we're going to practice is stepping back, okay, and doing the same middle block. This one, okay? And we're going to try to trap. What's my next movement? Boom. Striking, striking. Anything you want. What I want you to do is this. 1, 2. And then whatever you want to do. The important thing that we want to do is that entrance using the middle block. If you look at it, it goes slowly and you watch it in slow motion, it's just what we've been doing here. Okay? And then this strike comes in here, and then whatever you want to do, whatever you see. If it's Aikido, do Aikido. Right? If it's karate, do karate. We're just working on the entrance part here and getting that hand up, because this hand's coming. Right? Just like the other day we talked about the kata toshi, where I went here and here, and using that hand as a kind of protection, same thing here. 1, 2. See that? It's a punch and a block. Okay, so try that. Okay, so now we're going to do a couple of...
That's the warm-up. Right there. That's it.
We're going to do a couple of torite exercises. I'm sorry, different. No, same side. So the first one is here. So the basic movement is the middle block. So we're going to add some panache. And then I'm going to come around here. Okay?
No, it's good. I was like, I don't want flying to see. Thank you for saying
Okay, so here, same side grab, I'm going to move in like this, I'm going to strike because he's punching with that hand too, right? So it's the same kind of punching that we've been doing where I'm actually using the punch as a defense, and then I come around here and I trap, I move the hand around and I get to kotegaeshi and bring him down. So again here, boom, boom. If I want to submit, which we don't normally do. I like to submit people with the heel of my boot. Go home, submit myself on the couch with some beers. Okay, so here. We talked about the kotegaeshi, important things to do in the kotegaeshi, and that is we're using the energy moving in a circle through his shoulder, not coming over like this and expecting him to jump over his wrist, but making him go straight. Because he doesn't need to be jumping around. I don't want you jumping around during my fight, right? This is my self-defense now. So the jumping around thing is really a luxury. It's like the kaishi.
Right.
For me, if you can sute me out of the kotegaeshi, it's not working. Because if you go to throw me in kotegaeshi and I sute me out of it, I'm going to jump right up on my feet and come right back at you and you have done nothing. So I think the kotegaeshi should always be. Oh, okay.
I just was like, oh, he's not going to go through.
Like that, right? He's just going straight to the ground. Okay, look, be easy.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, one more. This is one you guys have seen. I'm just going to go middle block. Okay. This is an easy way to learn how to do Nikyo. Middle block. Then turn it over, Tate Tsuki. I'm not going to do this fast because it will hurt, but you can see, you can get into it pretty fast. So trying to demonstrate this one at speed is, and then go into the technique. We're also training ourselves to defend against the punch. Here. So I'm training punch myself to do this. Grab, punch, right? So it's one movement, two different techniques. We're just going to practice the torite and Nikyo. And the hand needs to go over the wrist. Okay, if I just come to here, it won't work. Okay, I need to go in and over and reduce the angle of the wrist here so that when I press through, it stretches the tendon. Okay, just a few times because we're running out of time.